we're talking about my hair. This hairstyle is very much like when I was young. But
I don't remember.
Okay, when you knew me, I had not much hair left. But this is actually, this is a new one, and the first time for you to see. Okay.
This for me is a bad hair day because it's like really dry. There's no humidity, so.
Your hair is beautiful,
Right.
Always beautiful.
But
the most important thing is real. Your hair is real. Yes.
True.
Okay. So you have not talked with us for some time, and so many people missing you so much. Oh, where's teacher Mercedes? Where's teacher Mercedes? We miss her so much, and she must give some lessons. Yes, she's been prepared for English lessons. And certainly she said she has something would like to talk to. Yes. Like Indians.
Is it to go with the ice cream truck? The ice cream truck music? Is that what you're bobbing your head to?
Yeah.
You're not Indian. No.
No, you have to move like people of Xinjiang, Okay. What I can talk today? We go to the topic.
Oh, okay. You like how he just throws stuff out there? Okay, he's going to do it again. We were discussing this earlier, and he just, in the middle of it, tries to complete my sentence and then throws me completely off topic. He loves to do this.
Try not to interrupt you this time. Try to keep myself quiet.
Well, for me, I guess the biggest problem comes is that I'm a teacher. So when I teach, I ask questions because that's really the best way to teach. You ask questions of the students. So when I do that, of course, he answers it. But a lot of times it's a joke and he's not really answering it.
Okay. Could you please hold the mic because I want the camera down a little bit more and to show you a little bit more about you. Okay. Better.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And I have this all pulled up. It's not because it's cold. It's because I have a shirt on that has a very sarcastic statement on it.
Never mind.
So I didn't want to put that on. I don't think people would understand the humor. So
okay. Yes.
I covered it. Anyway. Okay. So I just made some notes here this is a discussion. Okay. This isn't a lecture. What are you looking at now?
Look myself on the
He has an entire wall in his bedroom that's just a mirror. It's 80s style.
I just enjoy watching myself.
So he can wake up in the morning watching himself, and then he can go to sleep watching himself and wave. Hi. Never alone. Yeah? No. Okay. So we were talking earlier about maybe introducing the subject by talking about the differences in between our two societies, the cultures, actually.
Not necessarily only America or China. It's more like a West and East. Really.
It is. It really is. It's East and West because I haven't lived in China, but I know you very well, and I've known a lot of Chinese people, and I've taught a lot of Chinese people, and I've lived in Asia, though. I've lived in 2 countries in Asia over the last 10 years, and I've visited many more while I was there. So I'm not doing China per se, but this is what I have to compare, and for our audience, I think they could probably fit in there. They would probably understand and relate to what we're talking about. Okay? So, as far as the differences go, I think the differences are just so many. It's too many to list. It would be a shorter list to list the similarities, the things that are the same between our societies, between East and West. And I suppose with more discussion, we can find more similarities as we dive into different topics. But just right off the bat, the thing that comes to mind is honestly the fact that we're all human And I believe in the principle that everyone has the same potential as a human when they're born. Those things, I think that's the extent of our similarity right off the bat when we're born. And then what happens is we're raised in different societies, and that's where the differences happen. Okay? And I think just about everything is looked at differently. Okay?
Okay, can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I hope that I'm not interrupting you, okay? Basically, you're saying that we are physically the same and spiritually different.
I suppose so. It's not spiritually different. No. Culturally, it's not spiritually different. I think actually different things have been awakened in our consciousnesses, our collective consciousness in our societies, and there are different priorities in our societies, and that's where the differences happen. We're all born blank slates. We're all born without prejudices. Okay, you look at two small children, and before the age of 4 or 5, they don't know the difference between one person of one race and another person of another race. They don't care. They don't care. And then we're taught these things as we grow. And those formative years are absolutely vital. It's like learning a language. It's just the best time to absorb anything happening around you. Even if you're not being told directly, you're learning from watching the adults and the other children in your life. So that is where it begins, at the very start of our lives, and then it just the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, obviously we're biologically compatible, as many people will probably attest to. But okay, so what I wanted to start with, just an overall broad thing, are values, the values in our societies. Okay, and by values, what I'm talking about are, first off, on an overall level, shallow versus deep. Okay, a shallow values might be beauty, appearance, money. We all have those in common. Okay, everybody in our societies, in different aspects, they are encouraged to pursue these things. Okay, these things are good, these things are better. But I know that from Western society standpoint, that's only up until a certain age. And then what you do is you feel that there's something missing, and then you're encouraged, and you remember it back in high school or university, where, hey, we talked about these philosophers. There's something more to life. And then you meet someone and they're doing some kind of charity work. And then because you realize by the age of 30 or so, there's something missing. There's got to be more. This isn't fulfilling. So I don't know if that's the same in Asian culture, but I think to a certain extent.
In Asia, if a student you're not married, you're in trouble. So in the 30s, we're just starting, my bedroom is still empty, so there's something, I must find a wife or husband.
That's the priority, really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, that's not a priority anymore here. It used to be. It used to be up until like the 50s, 60s. Everyone was pushed to be married and have a child by the time they were, probably 25 or younger. I think my parents got married, maybe my mom was 20, my dad was 22. Okay, so yeah, I suppose, and they had us all by the time they were 30, 3 of us. So, but that's the old way. Once women started working on a regular basis and becoming professionals, not just a maid or something like that, women started saying, hey, I don't want to rely on a man, because they can be unreliable. Perhaps not all, because some people still held that traditional value, family value of man goes out and work, woman stays home. But then they said, oh, okay, well, oh, I want my career. I want to pursue my career. And of course, when you're starting out right out of school, that's when you can start working your way up. To take a big chunk of time off and then go back as an older adult is difficult. So they just kept at it, and then they would be successful in getting raises and getting promotions, and then, oh, by the time you know it, they're 35 and they're still not married. So the age for marriage here has gone up significantly, for men and women. For men, it's been up there, I think, for a while, because for men it's not such a big biological clock ticking, but for women it has been maybe 30, and then maybe I should start thinking about it. But then it's a big maybe. I should start thinking about it, because they have to think, do I want this or do I want that? What do I want?
In China, we say 30而立. The 30 years is the age that you're supposed to have family, to have the set up a family. And in the 40s, you're supposed to be rich, and the 50s, you're supposed to understand what life is about. But for women, and in Japan, there is a saying says 25 years woman is called a Christmas cake. So that's very good. So if it's 29, that's a New Year cake. It's over New Year. They don't care. This cake just out of date. Then
it's so insulting. It's so insulting.
This is Japanese culture. But in China, if the ladies over 30 is not married, they call them leftover.
Well, you know what the difference is too? I think a similarity is you have people who are, especially at a young age, they're just seeking material things, just seeking beautiful things, beautiful people. But once you get older, you want someone who you can actually stand being around and you enjoy being with, and you want to come home to them every day. You're looking forward to seeing them. So it's not about just having kids. It's about actually enjoying your home life, not wanting to stay at work. And that's a big thing going on here, is that people like to spend time with their families. That's a big priority, to spend time with your family and bond with them and do things with them to create memories. Okay? So that's that the time when your kids are growing up is absolutely vital for them and for you. I mean, it's a milestone that you looked forward to, hopefully, and to waste it by working is crazy. That's how it seems here. For moms and dads, it doesn't matter. So the work week is, even though you may love your job, that's great, and I hope that you do, because then it's much more fulfilling and it's enjoyable to get up in the morning. Maybe not enjoyable, but it's not, I have to get up and go to work. You're actually your day will pass quickly. When I was teaching at the international school, I enjoyed it. I would get up at 5:30 every morning, get ready, and my day passed very quickly.
But this is not the case in Japan. I don't think this is the case in China either, especially for these peasants, farmer workers. I mean, 农民工. In Japan, the fathers just could not afford to spend time with the family. They just work too hard. And the kids almost don't see the face of the father. The kids woke up, going to school, and the father is already left. When they come back, and the kids is sleeping. And also, many Japanese companies send the men to work in another place. We call it 单薪妇女. 单身妇女. That means you go work somewhere alone. Okay. And also in China, like the farm workers, they come to the city to work make money, and for the family, they could hardly see their family for years. Sometimes, some of them.
Wow. I'm sure that it has been that way here in the past, but not on a large scale, because they brought the European family style with them. The immigrants that, like my family, came with. My great-grandparents came here with. And for me, personally, my father, he was in the Navy when I was really young. Excuse me. Oh, my nose. It's because of the dry. I think because of the dry. I don't have a cold or anything.
You want this t-shirt?
No. It's just really getting my nerves. I hope it's not interfering here.
No problem.
Can you hear anything?
Yes.
You can?
Very clearly.
Really?
No, don't worry. I cut it off. Yeah, I cut it.
No, you're not. You're going to leave it, aren't you?
I'm going to cut it. I
He's
promise
going to
you.
leave it. I'm
I
sorry.
promise. Okay.
I sound all nasally. I sound weird. Okay. How can he cut it without cutting my speech?
Just to bring the topic back a little bit, when you're
Okay.
talking about when you were young, you're looking for physical beauty, gorgeous, and when you're growing older, you start looking for the inner beauty.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't hurt to have someone very intelligent, as well as very intelligent, as well as smart. I mean, as well as good looking.
Well, actually, I can't.
Doesn't hurt to be beautiful.
Well, it doesn't hurt, but actually, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm. Well, I thank you. I thank you for the inference there, for what you're inferring. But for me, I'm okay. I'm going to tell you it this way. One thing for me personally, okay, I don't see myself as beautiful. I see myself as I know that I'm not ugly. Okay, let's put it this way. And you see that's supposed to be, that's like a value that's taught to us really young. You don't walk around, I mean, some people do because they're probably not taught it. But I was raised in a little bit different era. I wasn't raised walking around with a phone and taking pictures of selfies and putting them up and getting people to like them or share. I didn't grow up with needing strangers' approval. But I grew up, you're neat, you're clean, you're presentable, these type of things. And you're humble. When people compliment you, I don't really know how to reply because it makes me feel embarrassed. But I do know at the same time, and that's why it's really difficult for me to state it. I know that I'm good looking. And when I was younger, I was really good looking, cute, like sweet type of face. And some people get really jealous, especially other women, and they don't even want to like listen to you. They don't want to take you seriously, even in a professional environment, because I don't know why, and that's crap. Because if I see a beautiful woman, and there are a lot of women much more beautiful than me, I've always been self-conscious, and I'm always like, whoa, she's a knockout. But I would not ignore what she's saying because she's beautiful. But that is something that's in our human nature, to equate kind of beauty with stupidity.
And I also tell you, I also confess, I don't have age discrimination. So I don't mind you to be young. So,
I know you wouldn't mind if I was even younger.
我的意思就是说，我从来不嫌弃他年轻，对吧？你看他这么年轻的话，一般人他会比较嫌弃嘛，对吧？那我这个人没有这个年龄这个歧视，我不嫌弃他年轻没关系。I just said in Chinese same thing. I said that, I know that you are so much younger, so but I don't have the age discrimination, so I don't really mind at all that you for your age to be young. It's okay.
Well, and
you don't have to worry about your age, okay?
Thank you. And you don't either, because actually for myself, I have, since I was 20 years old, I didn't date anyone less than 35. And it was simply because by the age of 20, I realized that men my age or around my age were assholes and were a few and far between. And I didn't feel like the nice guys, and I didn't feel like weeding through them and playing. I was busy with a career. I was busy concentrating. I didn't need to be distracted by people who were a waste of time, because I wasn't a party type of person. So I wanted to be with people who had actually developed interests in their life other than drinking and partying, and had hobbies and had things to talk about, and had maybe developed their brain a little bit more beyond beer.
You're telling me I don't need my wig?
No, you don't. You don't need your wig.
Okay. This is for some other people. Okay.
Well, actually, and so what has happened, it's just like, think about it this way. This may seem really strange to you or to other people, but when we were looking for houses, we saw these new houses that were all perfect. Everything inside is perfect. The painted job is perfect. Everything from every single detail. So boring. No character.
No love, no feeling.
No, none. Absolutely none.
No character.
No character.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. Then we found this house and we went, whoa, this house it's got problems. It's got problems, but it feels like a home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's unique.
Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations. Okay. So the next thing. That was just the very beginning and overall, oh my goodness, and we went crazy with it. So we did get into the overall value. We had the shallow versus deep, and that's also, I would say, the development of the self. Okay, and